Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas. Today's surfboard review, the Peppa Twin by Chilli Surfboards. Now I have a special guest, James Cheal. I reached out to him. He's in Australia. I asked him if he could do a breakdown on the board attributes for us. Why did you come out with the Peppa Twin? What is the board attributes and what can we expect from a board like this? I think you're gonna love it. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show.
Hi guys, it's James from Chilli Surfboards. Just wanted to give you a simple rundown of the Peppa Twin. Obviously, Chilli being a high-performance brand, all models we've built basically like the mid-strength or in this case the Peppa Twin. I've always wanted to keep a high-performance DNA running through all models. So one of the biggest features of this are the fin placements, which I'll go through, and also the deck, the flat deck into low beveled rail for grip. So you'll notice with our fin setup, a normal twin fin would be situated around here, where ours is obviously there. It's way back in the pod of the tail of the board, which can sometimes look crazy to the eye, look a bit different, but when you surf this, the grip and hold that you have from having those fins so far back, it honestly feels like a thruster. To explain it, feels like a thruster, but then also, the speed without the center fin there, you've got that speed like a twin fin. So that was one of the big things. Plus, obviously, the tail's wide, but it's not too wide. Like it's not like your standard fish. Like it's a high performance twin fin. This is. So that was one of the big things in this board. Also going through from nose rocker to tail rocker, it's relatively flat with some nice V through the tail here, just to give you that nice rail to rail roll. The entries, medium, the exits medium, very simple bottom. You don't want anything too tricky. And then what we also did is we really flattened the deck part out. So this part right here, all through here, is super flat. And then obviously with a flat deck, you need to pull down the rails. So what we did is we made the rails super low for a twin fin. They're relatively low through there, and coming off a flat deck, you can't have the rails the same height as the actual deck because they'll be too boxy and they won't bite. And you'll see the outline of this. There's enough width throughout the outline in the right places without exaggerating too much width in the nose or too much width in the tail. So by doing that, you keep that high performance feel to the board, but you also don't rob yourself of width up through the nose here, where there is enough through there to for paddle power, and obviously down in the tail, same thing again. You don't want too much width in the tail if you still want to surf this thing high performance, but there's enough there to feel steady and safe through those turns.
Now I'm stoked to have James talking to us about fin box placement. That's not what I usually cover, but I've been riding a lot of performance twin fins, boards that fit this category without a stabilizer. And I noticed that this board rides a little bit different. So I started with a stock 5.4 in the Twin Tech EPS epoxy construction, riding it at Waco Surf. Since that board's shorter, I didn't measure fin box. I just put some fins in, my go-to fin, HP Twins, in the board and went for a surf. And because that board's shorter and I want to get it into the pocket real quick, this fin felt great. Then they sent me a 5.5 and the XTR10 with the Parallel Carbon, and I put the HP Twins in, and it was feeling a little bit tight, a little bit stiff, hard to turn. And then they sent me a 5.7 PU Poly that I rode in the ocean at some of the Southern California point breaks. And I started with the HP Twins because the waves were like shoulder high, maybe a little overhead on the sets. And I thought, one thing I want for sure is hold. I want drive and I want to be able to push through my turns. So naturally I go to the HP Twins, which has a wide base, more surface area, a good amount of rake to give me that feel I'm looking for. And I remember just getting a couple rights and popping to my feet, pushing off the toe side. I'm like, ugh, this board feels long. It feels tight, like my turns are really drawn out and the board feels like it's not turning quickly, which is the opposite of what you would expect out of a twin fin. So then I switched from the HP Twins and I went to my pivot twin and the pre-preg carbon. And it was feeling a lot better. I'm thinking, man, what is it that I can ride so much less fin than what I usually ride in most other high performance twin fins? It's gotta be fin box where they located it. It's gotta be further back. Now, I called over to the folks at Chilli and I said, hey, this board likes less fin. Am I feeling what I'm supposed to be feeling? And the guy said, yeah, you can ride way less fin. Because the fin boxes move back further, and when I talk about move back, it's somewhere between 1.5 inches to 2 inches back further than most other performance twin fin boards I ride. So you think, oh, that's not much. That's actually a ton. Moving it back further gives the board stability, it gives it hold and drive. And when I talk about hold, it's when I put the board on rail, let's say it's a toe side bottom turn, and I want to get that first pump and burst of speed. The more I can push and feel resistance on the toe side bottom turn, the more I feel that resistance, the harder I'll push, the faster the board will squirt. Now, if the fin is too much on a board that's longer, then I feel like I have to push even harder and it takes a lot out of me. So using less fin with less surface area, and that's a little bit more upright, I'm able to go top to bottom faster. And my pivot twin does still have a decent base, but then I switched over to the AMTs. Wider base, even more upright, and this tip's a little bit more refined, so I'm gonna get a little bit more release and get the tail to be a little bit more playful. My first experience on a twin fin was more of a fish type board. So I had a wide nose, wide tail, carrying a lot of speed, but I didn't have a lot of control. And I put all kinds of different twin fin setups in there. I really feel like what James did for us performance guys, if you're coming off a thruster and you want performance in the pocket, top to bottom, you want to draw a similar line to a thruster, you're going to have a great experience on the Peppa Twin, as opposed to what I felt on that very first twin fin, which I think everybody's afraid of. We get on a twin fin that's got a lot of lift, fin boxes aren't in the right spot, you don't have the right twin fin set, it's going to slide out all over the place. You're not going to have that experience on this board. I really like his fin location. I like how he pulled in the tail and the nose, giving it that performance feel so you can draw a performance line. Now, I want to talk about my preference. I mentioned they sent me a 5.4 Twin Tech. That board felt good in the pool. So if you're riding this Peppa Twin as a small wave performance board, you can go a little bit shorter, put it where you want faster, and you can get a pretty upright fin like the AMTs or my Pivot Twins and get this board to feel exactly how you want, whether you're in a wave pool or in a small punchy little beach break. When I talk about small wave performance board, I am not putting this board in the groveler category. I feel like it needs like chest high to overhead or bigger, and it's gonna draw a performance line. It's gonna have that resistance and that performance feel like you were riding a thruster with a lot more speed. Now, this is XTR10 in the Parallel Carbon 5.5, and I rode it at Waco and it felt good. I would say that the foam's a little bit more, has a different feel compared to the Twin Tech EPS. It also has the Parallel Carbon, which you have the carbon on your toe and your heel, so it's actually giving you a little extra flex and pop. And I noticed, just to be honest, on the Parallel Carbon that if my feet weren't exactly where I wanted them to be, it didn't have the flow that I wanted. So at the pool, I actually preferred the Twin Tech EPS epoxy that Chilli's making. If you're gonna go XTR10, I suggest the Carbon Light, where it's just the carbon down the middle and it's giving you a more familiar flex, like if you were riding a PU Poly with a wood stringer. That's my favorite in the XTR10. Now on the PU Poly, If you're a twin fin guy that wants a performance line, you like riding twin fins, you can go a little bit longer. You can ride that board in well overhead, still run a performance twin fin set like the MRs or something like that, and you'll have a great time. So it's really like that small wave performance board / daily driver or a high performance twin fin in similar waves that you'd ride a thruster in. Hey, so stoked to have you on the show.
Yeah, buddy, welcome to the office.
Yeah, that's right. Another place that you hang out. So
Yeah.
We've got Peppa Twin here. This is the XTR10 Parallel Carbon. You also rode the 5.4 in the Twin Tech that Chilli makes. Why don't you just talk a little bit about both boards and how they felt?
Both boards were super fun. I just was looking at some of my clips from them, especially this one, the 5.5. And the board felt great underfoot. It was solid. It was getting in the lip well. I had some good connecting turns. I felt like it was a little stiff with the bigger HP twins in there. So this was probably a better combo to go with a little smaller. But all in all, it was a fun board. I enjoyed it.
Did you feel like the Parallel Carbon, you gelled with it when you got your heel toe on the board? How'd that feel? Did you notice anything?
I did. I felt like if you had, with the way the carbon layup is, if you had your foot placement right, centered, it felt really good. If it didn't, it felt off, and I needed to adjust my footing.
Right. So on the XTR10, I prefer the Carbon Light.
Agree, 100%.
And then out of this 5.5 XTR10 Parallel Carbon and the 5.4 Twin Tech, for the pool, I'm saying 5.4 Twin Tech.
Agree. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, so guys, don't be afraid to, if you want to customize this and get it to feel like a high performance shortboard and you're riding it in that 2 to 4 foot range, you can go a little bit shorter, put it where you want faster, and I feel like it'll have that thruster performance feel top to bottom. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's review on the Peppa Twin. I'm calling it a daily driver. Best for that intermediate all the way to pro level surfers. If you like a performance feel, you want twin fin speed, and it's your first experience on a twin fin, highly recommend the Peppa Twin. Special shout out thanks to James Cheal and the folks at Chilli sending in the boards for review, joining us, breaking down the board attributes. We love hearing from the shapers. Hey, look, if you like the show, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.